Hello boys and girls, welcome to our YouTube channel, and today we're gonna be ranking WWE superstars as they are right now. Please remember that this video is gonna be about their current form, current reception. This isn't like a legacy thing. There's also 106 WWE superstars currently on the roster, so I'm gonna try to move as quickly as possible through these. And also, while you're here, please subscribe, please like, if you want daily entertainment right here on this channel. Starting us off, we have Uncle Howdy versus Tommaso Ciampa. And immediately a pretty rough matchup. Again, I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible with these. Here, I want to go with Uncle Howdy as of right now, because the Wyatt Six are getting a pretty big push. And I mean, Tommaso is really good, DIY is doing amazing recently. But as of right now, I think I have to go for Uncle Howdy. Next up, we have the Canadian matchup between Kevin Owens and Natalya, and right here I unfortunately have to go with Natalya, who, although she doesn't have a great run right now, Kevin Owens is out with injury since WrestleMania, so Natalya it is. JD McDonough versus Michin, and another pretty tough matchup in my eyes, as Michin is in the US Women's title picture, but JD is pretty big in the tag team division right now, and also the Judgment Day is doing pretty well, so I'm just gonna have to go with JD McDonough. This is by far the easiest matchup so far. Cruz del Toro, you're fine, I guess. Roman is Roman. El Grande Americano versus Penta. Okay, this is actually pretty tough, like unexpectedly tough. I have to go with Penta, I think, but El Grande has been so fun lately, and it's a shame to see him go off this early, but Penta is just so over right now. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. I think I have to go with Carmelo Hayes, as Andrade has been missing for a little bit now, so I'm just gonna have to go with Carmelo. Brutus Creed versus Zelina Vega. This is actually a pretty interesting matchup, as neither of them have been really too active on television recently, but Zelina Vega did just recently have a US championship run, like recently, a couple months ago. So I'm gonna go with Zelina. Angel versus Stephanie Vaquer. I think I have to go with Stephanie Vaquer here. She has a women's title match coming up, and she's just so over right now. Liv Morgan versus Tala Tonga, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but Tala Tonga has to win this one, as unfortunately Liv has been missing off television for a little bit with an injury right now. Nathan Frazier versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi has been doing so well recently with the New Day, so Kofi it is. Rhea Ripley versus Santos Escobar. I don't even have to explain this one, I think. Is Santos Escobar even on television right now? I don't think so. So Rhea Ripley wins. Candice LeRae versus Rey Mysterio. Both of them are missing from television. However, Rey has been missing for longer, so I'm gonna have to go with Candice, I think. This is a pretty tough matchup, honestly. Bianca Belair versus Logan Paul. Bianca has been doing pretty good, but she's also been missing from television with the injury recently. And Logan just had a match against John Cena, and it was a banger, so I have to go with Logan. Drew McIntyre versus Ivar. Drew wins, simple as that. Although the War Raiders are back on television since last night, but Drew McIntyre has been doing this thing with Cody and Randy Orton, so Drew has to win. Alba Fire versus Ilya Dragunov. I have to go with Alba here, although Ilya is a better WWE wrestler and superstar in my opinion, but he's just been missing for so long, and I have to go with Alba. Joe Gacy versus Piper Niven. Joe Gacy has to win this one. He has the title alongside Dexter Lumis, and Piper, although the Secret Service has been really entertaining recently, and they might be in the Tag Team Championship picture, Joe Gacy has been doing so well with the Wyatt Six recently, so yeah. Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn. Sami has been pretty good recently. He's the US champion, but a lot of his character doesn't work as well as it used to, so I have to go with Cody. Nikki Cross versus Kiana James. Now, Kiana did have a match recently. It was like 5 seconds long, but she did have a match, whereas Nikki Cross didn't, but she has been more involved, and everything that I've seen from her has been pretty good, especially with the Wyatt Six thing where she held Montez Ford's leg a couple nights ago at Clash in Paris. so I have to go with Nikki Cross. Chad Gable versus Sheamus. Unfortunately, Chad is out with injuries, so Sheamus wins this one. Tyler Bate versus B-Fab. Now, neither of them are doing much as of late, but B-Fab is the manager to the Street Profits, so I have to go with B-Fab because Tyler has not been on television for a while now. Aleister Black versus Alex Shelley. Now, this is actually a pretty tough matchup because Alex Shelley with the Motor City Machine Guns has been a pretty crucial part of the tag team division over on SmackDown, and the tag team division is really good. But Aleister Black is in a pretty good feud against Damian Priest and R-Truth, so I gonna go with Aleister Black here. Julia versus Montez Ford. Now, Julia is the champion, Montez isn't. But Julia has been doing nothing ever since she won the belt. Unfortunately, it's no fault of her own, it's the booking thing. So I have to go with Montez Ford, who, and I was right about this. I was right that they were going to try splitting up Street Profits, and it seems like we're building towards that. So once they do, Montez is gonna have a great singles push. But even as of right now, he's definitely better than Julia in my eyes. Jacob Fatu versus Kairi Sane. Now, this is actually much closer than you might think, because Kairi has been really over recently ever since she came back. Did you see the Paris crowd last night when they were chanting for her during their match? And the match had Asuka, Raquel, Roxanne, and they were still chanting for Kairi. That was such an amazing moment. I love that. I love Kairi Sane. But Jacob Fatu is so over ever since he came to the WWE, and he's been so good. And as of right now, I have to go with Jacob. Braun Breaker versus Dexter Lumis. Now, Lumis does have the belt, he's with Joe Gacy, but Braun Breaker is one of the most over superstars right now, especially with the Vision thing, so I have to go with Braun Breaker. Finn Balor versus Jimmy Uso. As much as I love Finn, as much as he has the tag team championships, Jimmy has been pretty involved recently, so I'm gonna have to go with Jimmy, especially after his interference last night, which kind of seems like it puts him in the feud against the Vision. So I'm gonna have to go with Jimmy. Nia Jax versus Tama Tonga. Okay, the battle of bad. I think I'm actually gonna have to go with Tama Tonga. Like, honestly. Because at least he's been on television more, I guess. And Nia has been doing pretty much nothing ever since her feud with Tiffany Stratton ended. So I'm gonna have to go with Tama Tonga. Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins. Man, I wish Austin Theory was doing something right now, but he isn't. He just isn't. He hasn't been on television in like a year, like proper television, not like main event or 3-minute segments or background or whatever. Seth Rollins, I think he's the #1 seed right here, but I'm not sure. We'll see in the later matchups, but Seth Rollins goes through. Berto versus The Miz. Right now, Berto has been doing really well, especially in AAA, but The Miz has been so entertaining, at least to me. So this is my tournament bracket. In my eyes, The Miz has to go through. Becky Lynch versus Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly. Becky Lynch just wins this one. Kit Wilson hasn't been on television for long, and Becky Lynch is also like a top 10 seed at the very least. So Becky goes through. Ludwig Kaiser versus Tiffany Stratton. Okay, the boyfriend and girlfriend matchup. I mean, it's not tough, but it's tough for me because Ludwig, his work as allegedly El Grande Americano has been so good. So good. But Tiffy is the champion. So I have to go with Tiffy. Dragon Lee versus Otis. And Dragon Lee is at least on television right now. He was on television last night as well. So I gonna have to go with Dragon Lee. Dominic Mysterio versus Julius Creed. Dominic wins this one, easy. Jade Cargill versus John Cena. This is much closer than I thought it was gonna be, but John Cena has to go through. He just has to go through. Although Jade has been doing some really good stuff, especially since her feud with Naomi, she's now feuding with Tiffany Stratton. But John Cena is John Cena, and he's as over as can be right now. At least I think so. So yeah, John Cena. Asuka versus Lyra Valkyria. This is pretty tough. Asuka has been getting some really good reception. She seems to be cooking something with Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors, but Lyra has been really good recently as well. She just came off at least in my eyes, great IC title run and some great matches. And Asuka just came back recently. If we're doing as of right now, I have to go with Asuka. If this was like asked of me 2 weeks ago, I would have gone with Lyra. But Asuka's just been so good for the past few weeks, so Asuka it is. Akira Tozawa versus LA Knight, not much needs to be said. LA Knight goes through. Apollo Crews versus AJ Styles. Apollo Crews is still in the WWE? Oh my god. I don't think I've seen this guy on WWE television for like 3 years at least. AJ Styles goes through. Chelsea Green versus Io Sky. It saddens me to say this, as Chelsea Green has been really over recently with all her stuff that she's been doing down in NXT, then on Monday Night Raws, and everything. She's been amazing. But Io Sky is one of the most over women for the past, I don't know, like couple of months at least, maybe even a year. Actually, yeah, a year. She's been over at least, so I have to go with Io Sky. CM Punk versus Big G, Grayson Waller. I have to go with Punk here. I just have to go with Punk. Although Big G has been doing some good stuff with the New Day, CM Punk has just been so good. Gunther versus R-Truth. Now we're doing right now, R-Truth wins because Gunther is on a technicality out with an injury. And R-Truth has had some segments, whether it be a Fireball sponsorship or him flying to Dublin somewhere in the US. I have to go with R-Truth. Jey Uso versus Nikki Bella. Jey has to go through here. He's just so over with the crowd right now and has been for a little while now. And although his in-ring work has been pretty on and off because he has stamina problems, Jey still is as over as can be, so I'm gonna have to go with Jey. Damian Priest versus Big Bronson Reed. I am honestly gonna go with Bronson Reed here. He had a great match against Roman. They played with that crowd so well. He just had his tribal thief gimmick. Damian has been doing some great stuff, don't get me wrong, but Bronson Reed with the vision has been doing so well recently. Alexa Bliss versus Pete Dunne. Now Pete has been off television for a while now, and Alexa is doing some great stuff with Charlotte, so Alexa goes through. Okay, we're in the round of 64. Charlotte Flair versus LA Knight, immediately a tough one. This is really tough. I think I have to go with LA Knight, but Charlotte has been doing some amazing stuff recently in her tag team with Alexa Bliss. But LA Knight is just so over. I still can't believe he's been over for 3 years. 3 years he's been over, and they still are doing basically nothing with him. I mean, yeah, of course, he was in the main event on Clash in Paris, but man, we want some bigger push for LA Knight. We just need it. Angela Dawkins versus Cody Rhodes. Now, Angela Dawkins has been amazing recently. He's been great. He has the crowd behind him from time to time. Although I do think he's gonna be a heel pretty soon. But Cody Rhodes is the champion. Is the most over babyface right now. So yeah. Alexa Bliss versus CM Punk. It saddens me to see both Charlotte and Alexa being out so early. But Punk is CM Punk, man. There's not much you can do against it. Carmelo Hayes versus Jimmy Uso. And right here, I have to go with Jimmy. I just have to. Nikki Cross versus Sheamus. And Nikki, it's been a good run, but you still haven't had a match in how long? And Sheamus just had an amazing match against Rusev. So Sheamus goes through. Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano. Aleister Black has to go through in my eyes. I mean, Johnny's been on a good run recently, but Aleister Black, since he came back, has been on a really good run. Again, at least in my eyes. I know the internet community is like saying that he isn't that great, but in my eyes, he's been doing amazing. So yeah. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton. This is a really tough matchup, as Tiffy is the women's WWE World Champion, I think, or the Undisputed Champion. I'm not sure about the women's titles, what they're called on each brand, but yeah. Becky Lynch, on the other hand, has been so over with the crowd with this new gimmick, with her hot husband and everything like that. And she just went into the Vision. She just joined the Vision. in an amazing moment at Clash in Paris. And she is the IC champion, so I have to go with Becky Lynch. Zelina Vega versus Naomi. Aw, man. I feel so sad. I mean, no, I'm so happy for Naomi. She's pregnant. But when it comes to this, I feel sad that I have to put Zelina Vega over her. Because she's at least not out of the picture. At least I don't think so. So I have to go with Zelina right here. Asuka versus Natalya. Asuka wins. If this was Natty Neidhart instead of Natalya, that would be a discussion. But Asuka wins this one. Big Bronson Reed versus Hakeem Wilde. Big Bronson Reed goes through. Simple as that. AJ Styles versus Montez Ford. Montez, again, has been so over, so over. I can't wait for that singles push. That it seems like it's coming pretty soon. God, please make it come pretty soon. But AJ Styles, I mean, did you see the crowd in Paris? They were singing Phenomena, whatever this chant was, I can't sing. But they were singing it for at least like 5 minutes, I think. At least I think so. Now, I live in the part of the world that doesn't have commercials on Netflix. I mean, I see when they should come up, but they never come up because I don't think there's any commercials over here that could be put on Netflix. And during the whole commercial break, they were singing. It wasn't like as if Michael Cole was like, okay guys, now sing again, we're coming back from commercial. No, they were singing. It was amazing. So AJ Styles has to go through. Seth Rollins versus Tama Tonga. Seth Rollins wins. I don't know why I said it like that. Alba Fire versus JD McDonough. JD McDonough, I think, wins this one. I think so. Alba has been doing pretty good in the Secret Service, but JD, I think, has been doing really, really well in the Judgment Day. So yeah, JD McDonough it is. Roxanne Perez versus Uncle Howdy. This is a pretty tough one. Uncle Howdy, I'm gonna go with Roxanne just because Uncle Howdy hasn't had a match in how long. I don't know how long it has been, but Roxanne has been slowly building up this push that could put her in the main event scene of the women's card. So yeah, I have to go with Roxanne. BFAB versus Io Sky. Io Sky wins this one. No need to elaborate, I think. Roman Reigns versus Tangaloa. Roman Reigns. Easy as that. Bayley versus Elton Prince. Bayley has been doing some great stuff recently. I can't wait to see her heel turn. I think it's gonna be next week. So yeah, Bayley it is. R-Truth versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Unfortunately, Shinsuke has been off television as well for a long time. So I have to go with Ron Killings, aka R-Truth. Jey Uso versus The Miz. And I love The Miz. Again, I love his character. I love everything he's doing with Melodon Miz. But Jey is just so over. He's just so widely over that I have to go with Jey. Axiom versus Dominic Mysterio. Axiom has been so over ever since he came into the tag team division, but Dominic has been so good. So good. I honestly think he's a top 10 seed. Honestly. So I have to go with Dominic. Eric Rowan versus Stephanie Walker. I have to go with Stephanie here. I don't think there's much need of an explanation here. She's just been so over. JC Mateo versus Kofi Kingston. Man, they fumbled JC Mateo. They fumbled him so hard. I think it could turn into something bigger later on. But so far, they fumbled the bag so hard with him. I have to go with Kofi. I just have to. Joe Gacy versus Solo Sikoa. And again, I love Joe Gacy. I love everything the White Six are doing right now, although it is a bit directionless. At least as of right now. I think they're building up to something, but I'm not sure what it is. But Solo has been doing really well as of recently. He really has, and I mean, no one can deny that. So I'm gonna have to go with Solo. Jacob Fatu versus Zoe Stark. I don't think Zoe's been on television for a long time. Is she on an injury? I should know this. I don't know why I don't know this. Or at least I can remember right now. I'm gonna have to go with Jacob. Chris Sabin versus Ray Phoenix. Both of them have been doing really great. The Motor City Machine Guns have been doing amazing. Ray Phoenix has been doing really well with Andrade. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with Rey Fénix here. I just think he's more over with the crowd. Honestly, that's it. That's the only reason. I think they're basically equal in everything else. Dragon Lee versus Logan Paul. And Logan goes through. He just goes through. He's been doing amazing recently. His match with John Cena at Clash in Paris was amazing. So I'm gonna have to go with Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre versus Xavier Woods. Now Xavier, as well as Kofi Kingston, have been doing amazing with the New Day. But Drew is just so good. He's been so good for like 2 to 3 years now as well. I can't wait for the feud between him and Cody. I think that's gonna be amazing. I think that's just gonna be brilliant. Maxine Dupri, or however you say that. I could never do that. Versus Rusev. Rusev just had an amazing match against Sheamus. One of the best matches of the year so far in my eyes. So I'm gonna have to go with Rusev. John Cena versus Penta, and I can't believe that Penta is going out so early. But John Cena has been so good. So good, especially after the end of his heel run. Now, his heel run might be what costs him in this tournament bracket, but man, this was so good. So good. Everything since CM Punk feud, the Logan Paul feud, the Cody Rhodes match, the feud right there. His face turn was pretty bad, but I mean, John Cena has been doing so well recently. Candice LeRae versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton wins. Simple as that. Okay, this is one of the toughest matchups right here. Rhea Ripley, the most over women on the card, versus Braun Breaker, one of the most over, if not the most over man on the card. I think he's a top 3 seed here. Rhea has been really good. But as of recently, she's not been there as much. But she has been. I mean, she's just not in the title picture, but neither is Braun. And it just might seem in my head like Braun is more over because he's always in the main event. He's always opening Raw because of the vision. And I'm just gonna have to go with Rhea. I think I'm just gonna have to go with Rhea. Sorry, all Braun fans. I think he's the future of the company. But Rhea is just Rhea. I have to go with her. Ivy Nile versus Tala Tonga. I want to go Ivy Nile here, but I can't, I think. Tala is so bad. He's so bad as of right now. And I can't believe he will probably go through to the round of 32. But Ivy's just been missing from television for a little while now. I'm going to have to go with Tala. I'm going to have to go with Tala Tonga. As simple as that. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. And for all the reasons I've mentioned previously, John Cena goes through. Solo has been doing pretty well, but the MFTs are not as over as they might have wanted them to be. So I'm going to have to go with John. JD McDonough versus Rusev. And JD, you've had a great run so far, but Rusev, he's been so good recently. He's been so good. Again, this might be recency bias, but that's what this is all about. His match against Sheamus was so good. So good. I'm gonna have to go with Rusev. Jimmy Uso versus Randy Orton. And this has to go with Randy. Jimmy's had a great run. Again, he's been really good recently. But Randy is Randy, and whenever he shows up, he's over. And he has been on programming for a little while now. So Randy it is. Aleister Black versus Io Sky. And Aleister, again, I think this feud with Damian Priest and R-Truth is pretty good. But Io Sky, she's just so over right now. She's just so over. And everything that's building up between her and Asuka. And then you have her soon-to-be match against Stephanie Vaquer at WrestlePalooza. Io Sky has to go through here. She just has to go. Bayley versus Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom. I have to go with Dominic Mysterio here. Bayley has been pretty good. She objectively has been pretty good. Especially with her soon-to-be heel turn, I think. But Dominic is just so good. He's just so good right now. Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. And this is a really tough matchup. Because Jey Uso has been over with the crowd, but his matches weren't amazing. His heavyweight championship run was okay at best. Logan has been doing some great stuff here, especially as of recently. He's one of the rare guys who could stand up to being cooked by John Cena and actually sometimes fire back I have to go with Logan here. I have to go with Logan here. I'm sorry, Jay. Heat movement has been amazing, but Logan is Logan. So yeah. CM Punk versus Roxanne Perez. The father and daughter. They're not real father and daughter, but that's why they call each other for some reason. Or at least CM Punk does call Roxanne his daughter, which is weird. But CM Punk goes through here. Roxanne's had a good run, but CM Punk is just, again, CM Punk. So yeah. Tala Tonga versus Sheamus. And finally, Tala Tonga loses. Finally, Sheamus, you go through, you ginger bastard. Drew McIntyre versus R-Truth. This is pretty easy. And goodbye, Truth. You've been really good recently, but Drew McIntyre has been amazing. So amazing versus good, amazing wins. Becky Lynch versus Cody Rhodes. Now this is much tougher than I thought it would be, because Cody is the champion, but Becky has been so good recently, and Cody has been missing off television for a couple weeks now, filming Street Fighter. Just because Cody's been missing from television for a couple weeks, but man, his match against John Cena was good. It was so good. But Becky has been so great as an IC champion as of right now, and she just joined Vision. So we're talking as of right now. With the recent happenings, I'm gonna have to go with Becky Lynch. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go with her. Kofi Kingston versus Seth Rollins. And Kofi, I love what you're doing right now, but Seth, he's the leader of the Vision. The Vision is amazing right now. Every match Seth has been really good so far. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Seth. AJ Styles versus Zelina Vega, and AJ Styles goes through. Not much. I don't know how Zelina's even come this far, honestly, but AJ Styles goes through. He just goes through. Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns, and I can't believe that Jacob is going out this early. I mean, it's not too early. It's the round of 32, but it seems kind of early. It does seem kind of early, but Roman Reigns, he's as good as can be, although he does get injured every time he shows up. Every single time he shows up, he gets injured. So that's like a little bit of a, sure, we're gonna have a Roman Reigns return every 4 weeks or so. I think I'm gonna have to go with Roman. Rey Fenix versus Rhea Ripley. And Rhea wins this one easily in my eyes. Easily. Asuka versus LA Knight. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with LA Knight here. Asuka, again, I love what she's been doing, but LA Knight is so good. He's so over. And he's actually getting better, which is wild. For his age, I think he's over 40. He's been getting better and better in the ring. And on the mic, I don't think many people who are better in the WWE. So I'm gonna have to go with LA Knight. Big Bronson Reed versus Stephanie Vaquer to end off the round of 32. I'm gonna have to go with Stephanie here, although actually, as of right now, Stephanie hasn't actually done much in the WWE as of recently. Of course, she has the women's title match coming soon, but Bronson just had a match against Roman Reigns, and the match was amazing. I'm actually gonna have to go with Bronson here. I hate doing this, but I'm gonna have to go with Bronson here. Sorry, Steph. Starting off the round of 16, Io Sky versus Logan Paul. Another pretty tough matchup, but I'm gonna have to go with Io Sky. Again, she's been really over and she's been so good. Logan, same. He's been really good. He hasn't been as over, but you know, that's due to his character. Not WWE character, his actual character. However, Io's been, I think, leagues better, at least in my eyes, so I'm gonna have to go with Io. LA Knight, yeah, versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins goes through. I'm sorry, LA Knight, I thought you were gonna go further, but Seth Rollins is just so good. He's just so good. His Money in the Bank cash-in and everything that preceded it, it's just been so amazing. So amazing. I have to go with Seth. I have to go with Seth. Randy Orton versus Sheamus. And this might be heresy, but I'm gonna go with Sheamus. Because we were saying as of right now, and as of recently, Randy has been in pretty good stuff, and whenever he comes out, the crowd sings and all that. But it's kind of been repetitive in my eyes. And Sheamus, this feud with Rusev, just This match alone puts him like right here. Right here. So I'm gonna have to go with Sheamus. Becky Lynch versus Roman Reigns. And man, again, another tough one. Because I don't think you guys understand how over Becky is. Of course, she's getting booed, but that's just because she's a heel. She is over and no one can deny that. You don't have to be cheered to be over. But Roman Reigns, I mean, I'm just imagining that Paris crowd we had. And I can't go against Roman Reigns here. I just can't go against him. So I'm gonna have to go with Roman Reigns. The only thing is, again, he gets sent to the medical facility really often, so he's often missing from television. He's pretty much a part-timer now, and has been for a little while. But man, that Paris crowd. Man. Okay, I've thought about this for a while now. And this is basically a 50-50, basically a coin flip. And this is my tournament bracket, so it's down to my personal preference. I'm gonna have to go with Becky. I've brought the case up for both of them, for and against. But I don't think there is much against Becky Lynch right now. She had just had a great promo segment against CM Punk. She just had an amazing match. I mean, actually, the match was kind of okay, but that's mostly due to Nikki Bella, at least in my eyes. Nikki's never been a great in-ring worker. She's a great character, but not a great in-ring worker. Whereas Becky has been so good. She's been so good. And that moment to end Clash in Paris, I'm gonna have to go with Becky. Another really tough one. Okay, we're in a really tough territory right now. Big Bronson Reed versus Rusev. Again, the same thing as with Sheamus. That recent match, at least in my eyes, puts Rusev right here. Right about here. So I'm gonna have to go with Rusev over Bronson Reed. I do have to do that. I do. Again, Bronson has been doing really amazing recently, but Rusev's match was just so good. So good. So I'm gonna have to go with Rusev. Dominic Mysterio versus Drew McIntyre. Again, Drew has been doing really well. The only thing is, he's still not in that feud against Cody Rhodes where you could say, okay, the feud is cooking. It's just kind of in the softly boiling stage right now. So I'm gonna have to go with Dominic. Great match against AJ Styles. Always entertaining. Always fun with the crowd. So I'm gonna have to go with Dom. I am gonna go with Dominic Mysterio. AJ Styles versus Rhea Ripley. I'm gonna have to go with Rhea here. Although, again, we're talking as of recently, and that Paris crowd for AJ Styles, that singing segment where they sang the phenomenal song for like 5 minutes. That's what makes this really tough. That's actually what makes this really tough in my eyes. And also had a great match versus Dominic last night at Raw when they were singing. But Rhea Ripley is always gonna be Rhea Ripley. Although I don't understand her character as of recently, it just seems like she wants to be friends with everyone, which is kind of weird for her character, but sure. She's still loved. She's still the most beloved female, I think, as of recently. So I'm gonna go with Rhea. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rhea. CM Punk versus John Cena. Another really tough one, as CM Punk is really over. And they had a great feud against each other just recently. The only reason I'm gonna go Punk here is because I don't think Punk had many bad things recently, whereas Cena, everything has been really good apart from the face turn. And I don't mean the fact that they had him do a face turn, but just the face turn in and of itself was kind of like, yeah, let's get this done with. So I'm gonna go with CM Punk. Rhea Ripley versus Seth freaking Rollins. And man, this is tough. Man, this is tough, but you know, I have to go with Seth. I have to go with Seth. He's, again, Money in the Bank cash-in. And everything before and after that has been 10 out of 10 television, at least in my eyes. It has been 10 out of 10 television. And although they might get boring, division does sometimes get boring, don't get me wrong, but that's just because they're always there. They're opening and closing the show. But Seth Rollins, in and of himself, apart from the Vision, has been so good. And I mean, I know you can't separate them, but it's not Seth Rollins who's getting boring, it's the Vision. And that's also just for some people, just from time to time, with people who are currently fed up with WWE. Me personally, I actually don't think they are boring, but a lot of people have been saying that, so I cannot ignore it. But I still have to go with Seth. I still have to go with Seth right here. Becky Lynch versus Sheamus. And Sheamus, my man, you had a good run. Becky Lynch goes through here. She just does. So yeah, Becky. Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev. Dominic has to go through here. Again, Rusev, you've been amazing recently. Really, really good. Dominic stays on top. So yeah. CM Punk versus Io Sky. And Io, you had a good run. You had a really good run. CM Punk goes through. He just has to go through. So yeah. Okay, we have the hot husband and hot wife duel right here. I don't know what that accent was. But this is actually the toughest matchup in my eyes so far. I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins. I am gonna go with Seth Rollins, honestly. Between these two, as of right now, again, because the Money in the Bank cash-in is still really fresh. And everything after that has been really good. The Clash in Paris match, last night's segment, it included both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins and CM Punk. But Seth Rollins is the centerpiece of it all. So I have to go with Seth. CM Punk versus Dirty Dom. And right here, I have to go with CM Punk again. I do. Chicago crowd is going to be amazing on SmackDown. And CM Punk has been really, I don't know why I'm repeating myself so much, but it's been so good. Although Dom has been so over. So over, but he just needs a little bit more of a push, I think. So I'm gonna go with CM Punk. And the finals. Going up in the blue corner, we have CM Punk. In the red corner, weighing 15 kilo, I don't know. Weighing however much, we have Seth freaking Rollins! This is the deserved finals in my eyes. It absolutely is. Man, this is tough. Man, this is tough. But I have to go with Seth. I do. I have to go with Seth. Because he is the guy who's doing the most in the company right now. He is the World Heavyweight Champion. He had a great Money in the Bank cash-in. He's main eventing every show. He's just been doing so amazing. So yeah. Seth Rollins wins. If you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. And that's been it. Peace.